grind your way through it all?
I mean, after that start of that second period, starting that second period not having anything at all, it was really difficult. And about 30 minutes in, I got that little clue that those fish were up there. A few fish were up there around those bluegill beds and out down there wolf packing, and that's something that's in my little wheelhouse. That's something that I've made a lot of money doing on tour, and I understand that. And so when you have those tournaments, it's really a tough, grinded out event. You need to do something that you're comfortable with and you're confident with, and that was perfect. And I felt like if I could just get a few bites, they were quality or decent quality bites, then I could grind this one out.
Do you anticipate similar conditions in Youngstown, Ohio, a month from now?
Youngstown, that's going to be interesting. I mean, I've actually started my career fishing BFLs when I was like 18, 19, in Ohio, and I actually fished a tournament up on a lake in Youngstown. Now that was 5 years ago, but I don't know if it'll be similar at all, because the thing is, this area of the country, it's all about highland reservoirs. That area of the country could be anything. It could be a muddy little lake they take us to. It can be a grass lake. That's what's crazy about Major League Fishing is you have to be prepared for anything. And obviously, you rule out a Clearwater smallmouth lake being in Youngstown unless they take us to Erie, which that's possible too. So you just never know. You never know, and we'll just see what happens.
All right, Jacob, you had a 3-pound, 11-ounce lead with 45 minutes left in the competition. Did you feel that was enough of a lead because of the tough bite?
You never feel like you have it until the last bell whistles. And for me, I didn't think that I was comfortable after I caught that last one, but it was at the point in time that, hey, I need to still, you got to keep on going. You got to keep on going because, there's 4 and 5 and 6 pound largemouth and smallmouth in Dale Hollow. So if you slip up once and you don't catch that fish, and that's the difference between you winning and losing. And any crack of the whip, anybody could have won that event.
Jacob, the conditions were really, really tough today, brutal maybe even. How did you keep your head down and just stay focused and in the grind?
It was really just, that's what I'm used to in those late, midsummer to late summer events is you fish for 5 or 6 bites the whole day. 90 degrees outside, you're sweating, you just can't even keep your concentration, making sure you stay hydrated. And just, when you get a bite, you have to make it count. And so your concentration level has to be 100% at all times, paying attention to what's going on, because you lose one fish, that's the difference between you going home and you going on.
So we talked about your lead with 45 minutes left to go, but within about 20 minutes to go in the final round, your lead was cut to only 4 ounces. How intense was that?
I definitely kicked it into overdrive at that point in time. I knew that it was very easily, you catch one more fish, I probably could put it out of reach if I catch a decent quality fish like I've been catching. But I knew at any point in time, he caught those fish very quickly, 1, 2, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, gosh, please no. So now I had to think, where have I seen fish? Because I was actually fishing and visually looking at the fish that I was catching. So I had to think about fish that I didn't catch, or I had opportunities to fish, and so I need to hit this place, I need to hit that place, I need to hit this place, because you can't run just random water that you didn't know real well. With 20 minutes to go, you need to fish the best chance to get a bite, and that was really what I did those last 20 minutes. And my heart was pounding until 5 minutes after, to make sure that I was like, I'm not celebrating until after this whole thing, and for sure I know it won.
All right, Jacob, so does the live score tracker work for or against your mental game?
Oh, it definitely helps me out a lot. That's something that, because you know what you have to catch. You can't, hey, if you're 20 pounds back, you can't go throw a shaky head on a rock wall. If you're 2 pounds back, you might need to do that. And so it really just allows you to play the game accordingly, rather than like in a normal event where you're pulling up there and you're just fishing the day. This, what you need to win for the most part, and so you have to fish to win. That's what it's all about. To win this event, you have to fish hard, and I think it helps out a lot because you can make adjustments accordingly.
Jacob, it was a really tough bite today. Why do you think it's so tough right
I mean, it's summertime. It's, a highland reservoir. Those fish bite at night. You come there in March. I mean, I've fished Dale Hollow in March and April, and I mean, it's unbelievable. But I don't care where you go in the country in June, and it's 95, slick, calm, and sunny outside, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and it was tough. And, did I know it was going to be that tough? No, I definitely didn't. But I knew I had to do something to get a couple bites.
Any win is a great win, and now you have qualified for the MLF Summit Cup. Does that excite you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. After getting 3 second places out of the 4 events that I fished last year, to start off this year with a W, it really feels good. It really does.
You didn't weigh a fish in the first period at all. Were you nervous, and did you make a change when you went into the second period?
I don't know if I feel like I was nervous going into the second period. I knew that I was only just 1 cast away from leading this thing. We were only about 1 pound 10 out, so it wasn't like anybody took a charge and really started throwing a lot of weight up on the leaderboard. I just knew I had to figure something out. In that second period, when I did figure a little bit of something out, that I felt like I had the opportunity to definitely win.
So what exactly did you catch your fish on?
Pretty much today was all about a wacky worm. I was throwing a little wacky worm, a little green pumpkin, a little tattletale Jean-Larue worm, and I was utilizing that to go in those shallow water areas, shallow pockets, those largemouth were keying in on bluegill. And that's something that happens all over the country. Not all the time is it the primary pattern, but it's a way to get bit when it's really tough. Dog days of summer, there's actually fish that always stay shallow. And that's what I was keying in on, because Dale Hollow is so clear, I could visually look at those fish and see them, okay, there they are, and you have to stay off of them, but you can see those fish, cast that little wacky worm over there, twitch it a couple times, and then come up in there and eat it. Now, I only caught 4, but I've seen like 25, actually try to come up and look at the worm and stuff. You just had to get one that was in the right mood.
Smallmouths are really what Dale Hollow is known for. It's one of the best smallmouth lakes in the country. The world record from here, 3 of the top 10 from here. Are you surprised that smallmouths have not played a bigger role this week?
I mean, the area that we had to fish, Zone 3, was basically the river. It wasn't, the main lake, big giant bars. It really wasn't set up like that. So I figured that the largemouth would play a little bit more than people thought. In the wintertime, yeah, smallmouth tend to play really big, but this time of year they suspend a lot. And they get out there in the middle of the lake and they key in on bait, and you're not going to be able to really catch those fish. Are really difficult to catch, they're really difficult to find. And so, the largemouth, actually people don't realize Dale Hollow is probably one of the best largemouth lakes, largemouth fisheries, in the country at certain times of the year. So, I mean, the largemouth played a bigger role for sure, definitely with the zone being up in the river though.
One last question. What do you think of this area? Really nice folks, really beautiful country.
Cookeville, Tennessee, and it's where it's at. I've always said if I ever move, I'm going to move to Tennessee, because it's just an area that, the people are so awesome. And in the lakes, there's a lot of great fisheries around here. There's a lot of great places to fish in the winter and the summer. You have there's a lot of versatility, and it's a good place to call home for sure.
All right, anybody else? All right, thank you, Jacob.
Thanks, guys.